Yo, quick video. I want to talk about my boy Morel, man. I think he's underrated. So underrated, man. A lot of Hunter fans do not give this guy the credit he deserves. I think low key he gets hold by a lot of people in the fan base, man. For real, he's getting hold. I think he's one of my favorite characters because of how experienced he is. I mean, he's straight OG with it. And I think he has a nice nin ability. Deep purple. Dude uses smoke. And he's a manipulator. And I just been thinking, and this just pops out of my head. He was holding it down during the Chimera Ant arc, man. He was holding it down. You can actually put this guy up on the power scaling. Like, I think he can be considered a top tier mid-level character, or at least a low high level character. And I will explain why. Because by experience alone, man, he can probably beat a lot of hunters and nin users in the Hunter x Hunter universe. Just by experience. You heard what he said. During a nin battle, anything can happen. You don't know your opponent's nin ability. Your opponents don't know your ability. You can't just judge everything based on aura. And he sort of proved that point during the palace arc, when they were fighting in the palace against the Chimera Ants. And notice that he was beating everybody he fought, or at least stood his ground against everybody he fought. He beat Chimera Ants, even the ones like Cheetah. And he was keeping up with Cheetah's movement. I mean, barely, but he was. He even outmaneuvered him. And by the way, since he was so able to keep up with Cheetah's movement, and you can make an argument that Cheetah, he's most likely one of the fastest Chimera Ants, especially the squadron. He's the fastest squadron. It means he'll be faster than the Chimera Ant that fought Phaeton. And he was able to at least somewhat keep up and then try to anticipate his movements. So I think he'll be able to keep up with Zazan. I think that's her name. The Chimera Ant that fought against Phaeton. I mean, he can also protect himself with 10 or Ken, or use Ko. What really impressed me is how he stood his ground against the Royal Guards. I mean, he fought 2 Royal Guards, not like 1v2, like 1v1 or 2v1 if he had somebody to help him, like Knuckles. But he always stood his ground. He was impressive. And this guy was like fatigued. He didn't even have most of his aura. He was like at 50% of, if not below 50%. He wasn't even at 100% when he fought against the Chimera Ants, including the Royal Guards. And he still held that bitch down. Man, he got these clones, which are useful because he can use them to gain number advantage, or just use them to create distractions and stuff like that. He can even fool his opponent by duplicating things like another person. He has a smoky gel. And by the way, nobody wants to talk about how OP that ability is. I mean, it's strong enough to hold a Royal Guard. Shalapouf, he literally had to turn himself to like microscopic I can't even pronounce it right, man. But he had to split himself into like mini small pieces just to get through it. He was gonna eventually get through it. And this is a Morel that's not even at 100%. And he took on an attack from Poof. I mean, even if you want to make an argument, it wasn't meant to kill him. He just wanted to take his, his pipe, his smoke pipe thing. He still got hit by a royal guard. And again, he's not at 100%. And no one wants to call out the fact that Netero compared himself to Morel and Koval. Even though Morel pretty much said that, hey, you still a bit more stronger than us. But just for Netero to compare himself to Morel, guys like Morel, it still speaks high value, because this is the same Netero, rusty old Netero, that looked down on Hisoka when Hisoka tried to pull up, when Hisoka was asking for smoke. So you can pretty much power scale him up in the Hunter x Hunter power scale. I believe just by experience alone and with his ability, he can fight against members of the Phantom Troop. I believe he can, especially like the lower tier ones, even like the higher tier ones. He may not win against them, but I believe he can hold his ground and compete just based on experience alone. And I know people might disagree with that. It is what it is, but I'm just giving you guys receipts. You gotta put respect on Morel's name. You got to, by default. He got a resume. He got feats. You gotta give him that respect. And even if you want to argue that, Morel held it down based on experience, not like power, even if you want to make that argument, it still proves my point, because Hunter x Hunter, it's not about who has the strongest power level and all that. Everything is taken account for. Speed, power, awareness, reaction, agility, mobility, abilities, experience as well. Experience is part of the power scale, so you have to take that into an account, which means you got to give that respect. Let's say, the guy, that looks like a mummy. I can't pronounce his name, but let's say he tried to use Jupiter. What he gonna do with Smokey Jail? Same ability that kept a royal guard in check. Ability is super durable, and for all I know, there's no proof that he has to be inside of it to activate his ability. He probably just stayed in there just to keep a close eye on. I could be wrong. Just saying, I mean, if he doesn't have to be inside of it, it's gonna be problems. And what if he can manipulate it? It's gonna be problems. I mean, you guys think that Freaks can punch through it? Smokey Jail? Maybe. But, I mean, a royal guard didn't just bust through it. He didn't just, try to truck through it, because it was just that durable. And I know he tried to downplay himself by saying, hey, I'm not even all that strong. I was just a support team. But he could have just said that because he knew old dude had a target on his back and he wasn't trying to get caught up in that bullshit. But anyways, the feats, the proof is in the pudding, because the feats speak for themselves. And it seems like his ability is made for like scouting the battlefield, and it's like made for defense. So imagine if he develops an ability based on offense. Especially he can make an ability that's just as strong and durable as Smokey Gel. It's gonna be some problems, man. And then he has an ability where he can just absorb the oxygen and fill everything up with carbon dioxide. Can make like poisonous air or something like that. That's gonna be problems. Because while his opponent is paralyzed, potentially poisoned, he could just be welling on them using coke. Get his pipe stick and then just use coal or something. Use shoe and just pulverize his opponent. Just smash their face in with it. Or impale them. This is all I wanted to say. I just want to talk about how underrated Morel is, man. He's an underrated character. And I really think people need to put some respect on his name. For real talk. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Don't be scared to comment, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. That would be much appreciated. And I'm out.